Hey guys, welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be upgrading my Tokyo Mauri VSR10. You may have seen I got that a little while ago. I've used it a couple of times on the field, and like most stock snipers, it's just underpowered and it doesn't get as good a performance as you could. So I've got a few bits that have arrived today. I've got the Army Action Specialised trigger and piston. I've got a M150 spring to go in there. I've got a new spring guide. I've also gone got a new cylinder, so I'm going to put that in as well. And I've also got a Type 4 barrel to replace the stock one. Before I go and do all this though, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to shoot it in the garden using my Airsoft lighter BT as a chrono, just to see how this is shooting at the moment, so we can compare that with later. Let's see what it's doing. Okay, so this is the FPS test before the upgrade. All of these test shots will be done on 0.2s because that's all I've got. It also gives us a good idea of the upper FPS that this will give out, so let's give this a try. Okay, so as you can see from that initial test, it's around 300 FPS, but we can get that higher and hopefully the accuracy better when we add some of these upgrades in. So let's get straight to it. Okay, so first thing I need to do is just remove the smoke, just to make life a little bit easier. Okay, what we're going to have to do now is just separate the upper from the lower. So there's two bolts there and there we need to take out. You just need to use an Allen key to get that out. Just got to find the right one. Once you've taken those out, you just need to take the stock off of the action. Okay, so let's start with the trigger unit and the cylinder. First thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the cylinder, stock cylinder out from the rifle, and we'll come back to that in a little bit. What I'm now going to do is I'm just going to remove the trigger unit and we'll add the new one. So I'm going to need a screwdriver to remove the trigger guard, so I'm going to get one of those and we'll be right back. Okay, let's remove the trigger guard. Okay, now to remove the trigger unit, all you've got to do is remove the screw at the front and the screw at the back. Now is I'll just get the new trigger unit out from the packaging. To fit the trigger unit, you first need to remove the bolts circled, one on both sides. Once you've done this, you can then remove the block now circled on the screen. This block is then mounted to the receiver, the trigger unit is put in place, and the screws that you remove are put back in. And there it is. The last bit I need to do with the trigger unit is actually to cut part of the old trigger guard off for it to work, because this is a little bit taller than the original one. So I'll do that and I'll fit that. I probably won't show that in this video. Okay, so let's just assemble the new cylinder before we move on to the next part. Here's my new cylinder. Here's my new cylinder. My new cylinder. Of course, what we need to do is put the spring on the spring guide. The piston is going to go onto the end of the spring, and then the whole thing is just going to go into the cylinder. Now we are going to have to give this a bit of a push, making sure we don't trap the O-ring. course, if the spring goes onto the spring guide, it'll be easier. One thing that is worth saying is make sure you don't cross thread the cylinder head when you put it on. That's that assembled. What I will need to do is take the cocking handle off of the old one, so I'm going to do that now. Easy as that. Okay, so I finally got the trigger unit onto the rifle. It was the spring guide stopper I was having some issue with. Eventually, after a bit of research and looking up some videos and things, I was using some sandpaper, filed down part of the stopper. Bit of brute force, got it in, got that assembled. So now we're going to move on to sorting the inner barrel. I've taken off the outer barrel from the rest of the rifle. It just comes out as a small screw that comes in here, then the whole thing screws off. And now we're going to get to the hop up so I can put in the new barrel. And I'm just going to remove the hop arm now. Now I've got the hop up and the stock inner barrel out, we'll start to change those over. Here you can see me taking a picture of the hop up unit. If you're not 100% sure how it all goes back together, I suggest taking photos at each step when you take them apart. That way you know how to put it back together. For now, I've chosen not to upgrade the hop-up unit or the bucking. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the hop-up, take the bucking off of the old barrel, put it on the new barrel and put the hop-up back together before replacing it all back into the body. Okay, so that is the inner barrel change and the hop-up put back together. With the rifle reassembled and seemingly working, it was time to take it out into the garden and give it a test fire and chrono using the Ace Tech Lighter BT. I decided to test it using some old beer cans I had lying around as targets. I'm fairly impressed with the accuracy on this, and as you can see by the chrono screen scrolling onto the screen now, I've significantly improved the FPS. It's now at roughly 480 FPS and slightly above 2 joules. I can't wait to get this out into the field and give it a proper test. Thanks for watching, guys.